everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining. I've been getting some requests lately for hip mobility and hip stability exercises. So that's the focus of our yoga practice today. My name's Caryn and I'll be guiding us into a tabletop, but first, make sure you have at least a block and a cushion, or a block, a cushion, and a blanket in reach. Meet me all fours. Position your knees right below the hips and start to circle the hips and the torso in one direction. So we can feel immediately how connected the hips are to the spine. Reverse those circles and notice how smooth this feels in the opposite direction. Maybe that one direction is your preference, smoother, more coordinated, or maybe they're pretty equal. And we'll come back to center, knees right below the hips. Extend one leg back behind you. Lift your foot toward hip height. Unlock the elbows and move the chest front. Exhale, little lift through the back heel. Try to keep the toes pointing down so the hips remain level. You should feel your hamstrings and seat ignite. Stay for 3. Pulse a little higher, last 2, and then release to a tabletop figure 4. Place your right ankle in front of your left thigh. This stretch should feel nice. You might want to bring your elbows down to your mat or block. We'll stay for about 4 more rounds of breath. Hands low, table. Come back to all fours and switch legs. Stretch the opposite leg behind you, toes pointed down, lift your foot, hip level. Feel for equal weight in your 2 hands. Start to pulse your raised heel up. These can be subtle. Hug your underarms in. Last 4. Little higher, 3, final 2, and 1. Bring that left ankle in front of your right thigh. A nice stretch through the seat and outer hip. Stay here or lower your elbows. Couple more breaths in tabletop figure 4. As we move back to all fours, locate your block and hug it between the upper inner thighs. I have my block at its narrowest setting. When you engage the inner thighs, you may notice the low belly automatically turns on. Flex your feet and start to hover your knees here. Keep your hips level for 3. We'll begin to straighten the legs to downward facing dog. Let your heels drip, gaze back. A little bend in the elbows and knees, nice long spine. Couple more rounds of breath in our first down dog. Try to squeeze the block as you walk forward, top of mat. We'll come into a ragdoll pose, swaying the head, a little more body weight forward. Release that block for an IT band stretch. Cross your right ankle in front of your left thigh. Let the head go. Quite all right if you need that block under your hands, you can bring the floor closer to you. One more exhale here, release and switch. Bring the left ankle in front of the right. The IT band runs from the outer hip down to the outer knee. Might be tighter on one side versus the other. Shift your body weight forward, final moments in the stretch, and we'll move to a wide leg squat. So heel to the feet at least as wide as your mat, adjust the toes toward 10 and 2, and bend the knees, lift the heart. Inhale, straighten your legs at the same pace and to the same depth. Exhale, bend your knees together, heart rise. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. And try that a couple times on your own. Encouraging the hips to open here, I firm down through the pinky edges just as much, if not a little more so than the big toes. We'll meet back in our wide leg forward fold. Heel toe back toward hip distance. You can measure 2 fists between the inner arches of your feet. As you inhale, come to a halfway lift and parallel your spine more with the ground. On your exhale, guide your hands to your waist or hips. Bend the knees and rise up as you inhale. Exhale, glue the left foot to your mat, toes 12 o'clock. Turn the right knee out so you get this hip opener, external rotation at the thigh. And as you exhale, lift your right knee a little or a lot. Lower down on an inhale, toes tap. Exhale, lift. If you'd like, stretch the right arm as you tap the toes. Bend your elbow toward your knee as you exhale. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And repeat a couple more times, maybe with the eyes closed. I gotta get one more. All right. Ooh, that's tricky. And then come back to center, release the arms. Exhale. Inhale, look up, mountain. And on the exhale, let's swan dive, reach out, pull the belly in, hinge at the hips. Coming all the way down, please step your left foot back. You're in a lunge, and carefully lower your left knee to the mat. With the right knee above the ankle, walk your hands over toward the left side of your space. Another opportunity to drop to the elbows, with or without a block here. Try to keep the shape of lunge in your right leg, especially the knee. It's right over the ankle, toes 12 o'clock. It may be helpful to parallel the back shin more so with the short side of the mat. Last 30 seconds here. Keep pressing down through all 5 toes in front there. Pinky toe to the big toe. Couple more breaths. We'll meet back in tabletop. Place the block between your upper inner thighs. Squeeze your block and come into down dog, nice and slow, hips high. Couple breaths here. Walk it forward, top of the mat. Feel each step as you travel. Ragdoll pose, grab your elbows or interlace fingers, base of skull for some neck traction. Stay for one more inhale, release your block and exhale. Inhale, halfway lift, shoulders back. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, rise all the way to standing. And exhale, glue the right foot down. Turn the left knee wide. Exhale, lift your left knee up and reset, toes tap. Exhale, every time you lift, try not to let the right hip drop. Feel how this is core work. Friends who want to add on, inhale, left arm reach. Exhale, knee elbow. Like 4 more on this side. There's a little bend in the supporting knee. Spine stays upright. 2. Last one here. And release. Mountain pose. Knees point forward, look up. Exhale, widen arms, hinge at the hips. Fold all the way down. Once you come down, please step your right foot back. Low lunge on the left. With the left knee above the ankle, start to walk your hands toward the right. Freedom to lower the elbows at any point, spine is long, and the knee remains above the middle of the ankle, roughly in line with that left third toe. Breathe here. And final moments in the shape. Our release will be a child's pose. As you recenter your torso, bring your knees wide apart, connect the big toe mounds, and lower your hips all the way back, all the way down. And rest. And from here, we'll slow transition up and onto the back. Please keep your block available. Recline with your knees bent. The belly points up, hips a level, and we'll begin to tabletop the legs so that the knees are over the hips and the heels are about level with the knees. If you need more low back support, you can sit on your hands. Exhale together. Center the chin and lower your right toes as you breathe in. Exhale, lift back up to starting position. Tone the belly here. Inhale, lower the left foot, and exhale, lift. So you can tap heel or you can tap toes, or you don't have to tap all the way to the ground. If your low back complains, just go down as far as feels reasonable to you. Use your breath and think about stabilizing one hip as you move the opposite leg. One more each side. We'll rest. Give yourself a hug here. Nice work. Legs up the wall toward vertical and arms by your sides. Exhale. As you inhale, circle your left foot around without moving your right leg. Exhale, legs together. Do that again. Circle the left leg. Keep the right hip quiet. You might even want a hand there on the right hip. And keep going. One more, then we'll reverse those circles. Reverse. Inhale around, exhale, legs together. Inhale around, exhale, legs together. No movement on your right side. If you'd like it a little extra challenge, hands behind the head, elbows wide. Let's do 2 more, and then we'll switch legs. All right. Keep the left leg stationary, no movement at the hip or ankle. Circle the right leg around, back together as you exhale. These can be as big as you'd like. Let's do 2 more before we reverse. Inhale, circle, exhale, close. Inhale around, all the way up and together. No movement on that left side. 2 more. And release. Give yourself a hug, knees to the chest, squeeze, and get a little pinch in the hips. And stand your feet down. Now, if you need a rest, you're going to take a restorative bridge, block under the sacrum. Otherwise, we'll skip the block, parallel the feet, toes forward, and exhale, inhale, bridge. Lift your low back, mid, upper. Keep the knees in line with the hips. And then heel to one foot a little closer to midline. Stretch the opposite leg forward and maybe up. Hold here for 3. Level hips 2 and release. Ooh, that's a lot of glute work. Switch sides when you're ready. Opposite foot a little closer to the midline. Extend your leg forward and maybe upward. Most of the weight in your shoulders for 3, 2, and reset. Now you can grab that block and place it underneath the sacrum for a restorative or supported bridge. Cactus your arms, palms up, bending at the elbows, rest. Totally relax the seat, relax the hips and inner thighs.
Once you're ready to exit, arms low, exhale. Inhale, lift off your block. And as you exhale, try to keep the hips level, lengthen through the tail, coming all the way down to fallen bridge. Scoot the feet wider apart. Collapse the knees together so they're touching. Rest your hands wherever they feel comfortable. Let's come into a figure four stretch. Right ankle, left thigh. Right knee forward. Reach the left arm back. Extend your right leg long and low. Now you're reaching through the right leg and the left arm. Center your chin. One more inhale. And exhale, reset. Lower your arm, bend your knee. Lift your left ankle, figure four pose. Coax the left knee forward, crown of the head back. Reach your right arm over your head, couple breaths. Try to keep the weight in your hips balanced. Stretch your left leg forward. Big reach, arm to leg, inhale. And exhale, reset. Bring the arm down, bend your knees. Give yourself a hug, tuck the chin. And we'll rock to chair pose. You might rock a few times and establish some momentum. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Squeeze all the daylight out between your big toes, knees, and thighs. Sit back into your invisible too short chair and bring your hands to your heart, lift the chest. Glue the left foot down and try your standing figure four. Find your depth here. Option to close the eyes. Press down through that base foot and find a hip flexor quad stretch on the right. Hold the foot from the big toe side, if you can, palm out. Squeeze the legs back together and move toward dancer by reaching the top arm forward as the back shin moves away. Beginning of a back bend here. Keep the left knee unlocked, 3, 2, and release. Come back to chair pose, hands, heart. Find a little pulse now. Hug the outer hips in. Hold at your lowest point. Find that base. Glue the right foot. Lift your left ankle. Breathe here. Less weight in the toes, more so to the heel. One more exhale. And find that quad hip flexor stretch. Bend the left knee. Engage your inner thighs together. When you're ready, reach the top arm forward and energize your shin back. Palm is out, ideally. Hips level. Engage the back body here. Final moments in Nattarajasana, dancer. Slowest exit. Back to chair, little pulse. Good, now step one foot out. Come back to center. Step the other foot. Come back to center. Do that one more time each side. Out, back to center. Step one and both feet out. Turn your toes to 10 and 2 and hands to the thighs. Your fingers can face either direction. See what works for your wrists. Exhale, twist to the right and press the left thigh back. Look over your shoulder. One more exhalation. Inhale, center and switch. Push the right thigh back. Look over your left shoulder. Very little movement in the hips, isolating the spine independently. Spine movement, rotation with a hip opener. Try one more time each direction to balance out. And we'll meet in a standing wide leg forward fold, toes front or slightly turned inward.
So your head yes, shake your head no. For prone frog, we'll carefully lower one and both knees nice and wide. Line up your heels with your knees and turn the toes out. This might be where you grab a cushion, some blankets or blocks. I like to support the belly and torso in this position. So I'm going to make a little bit of a support for the torso. If this feels too strenuous, especially for those outer thighs, IT bands, you can try big toes together. Or you could do this one leg at a time. So one leg outstretched behind you and one knee lifted up toward the ribs. Try to stay for at least 8 breaths on each side. If you do have your head turned in one direction, balance out, switch. The next few moments, we'll start to make our way down to the belly. Push your legs back and reach your arms behind you. Turn the palms to face in toward the hips. Bring your legs closer together and exhale, center your chin. From here, bend your left knee and straighten out your leg. Do it again. Bend the left knee and straighten out the leg. Now bend the left knee, pause, lift the thigh a couple inches off the ground, and do this without turning your foot. Release down, thigh, shin, ankle, left toes to the ground. Bend your right knee, straighten your leg, and do it again. This time, bend your right knee, try to lift your thigh a few inches off the ground. No movement at the foot. Lift a little higher if you're able, and release thigh, knee, shin, foot. Both legs on the ground. Exhale here. Inhale, lift your head and chest. Reach your arms back like you're trying to grab for your ankles. Don't move your feet. Toes point down. Release. Exhale, lift again. Open the chest. And release. Now, bend the knees, lift the chest, reach your hands for your ankles, and lift your thighs a few inches off the ground, floor bow. Avoid splaying your knees here. One more exhale, and release down. Windshield wiper your legs, side to side. I'll meet you on the back. Relax your arms, bend your knees. Exhale, pull the belly toward the earth. Inhale, arch the spine, let the belly fill. And continue, cat to cow, supine variation, arching and rounding. One more. And meet neutral. Right in between those opposites. Nestle the shoulder blades down your back. Scoot your hips to the right and sway your legs to the left. Supine twist. You might like to bring the right knee on top of the left for eagle. Reach your right arm over your head. Gradually uncross your legs, come back to center level hips. Move your hips to the left, so your legs toward the right. Eagle variation option, left knee stack. And the chin dripping toward the left shoulder. Relax the inner mouth and jaw. Gradual release, uncross back to center. Wind relieving pose. Hug both knees toward the chest, lift your head and face. Wrap your forearms across your shins, grab opposite wrists or elbows. Keep this tight wrap of the shins and lower your head to your cushion or your mat. Breathe here. Relax the hips. Engage the arms. Stay for a couple more little sips. And we'll meet in butterfly. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. You can always place a rolled blanket under the knees. Form a diamond shape with your legs. Sway your head a little side to side. Massage the scalp. Meet back center for a few moments here. Feel for the knees becoming heavier, wider, and lower toward the ground. Stay or extend your legs. Final Shavasana, corpse pose. Get out any last wiggles or fidgets. Move anything you don't need aside. And this could include props, accessories like watches, rings, anything that might bind or constrict. Feel your whole body breathing in, deep, fresh inhale. Whole body breathing out. And one more together here. Inhale, inhale, fill up a little more. And exhale until you can't possibly expel any more stale air. Please close your eyes and keep them closed for a few moments. Allow the right palm to locate the belly. Guide the left palm to the heart space. Now your breath slowing down even more. Always welcome to continue Shavasana. When you're ready for some movement, awaken the toes and ankles. Extend one in both arms. Bend knees, roll to one side. Fetal position, exhale. When you're sure you're alert and ready, come up towards seated. Try a kneeling position if possible. Hug the outer hips in. Stack your shoulders over the waistline. Join the two palms. Press your chest to your thumb knuckle and tone the abdominals as you exhale. Inhale, sit nice and tall. Exhale, keep that upright posture. Two more together. Breathe in like the whole body's breathing in. Imagine the hips breathing out. Inhale, thumbs to third eye center.
Exhale, we hinge and bow. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining today. I hope you enjoyed that little hippie sequence, and I'll see you next time.